Alrighty, we're cruising along and we're almost done with Module 2. So let's get going. We've been doing all kinds of operations and problem solving with integers. And so this kind of wraps it all together with all of the operations put together. Even though Module 2 was focused primarily so far on multiplying and dividing, now today we get to synthesize and put it all together. All right, so how do I use integers to solve real world problems? Real world problems. Okie dokie, here we go. Ready? All right. You know, in Module 1, we spent a lot of time brainstorming and getting used to vocabulary words that mean add and subtract. So today I want to focus on words that might indicate to you multiplication and division. So as we start brainstorming, blah, 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 I know that the ones we've run into primarily, the word product is implying that you should multiply those two and tell me what the answer is. And likewise over here for division, quotient. Now, other than that, let's see here. You know, I know we use different symbols for multiply. When you were younger and first learning it, you saw the X symbol, which now that we're getting into algebra, we move away from. You might see the raised dot to indicate that, or you might just see two numbers together without any operation symbol in between. And usually they're in parentheses, or at least one of them is in parentheses, and that's implied some multiplication as well. Times. This one gets a little more challenging for me as I was trying to look and see what else we've got. Here's a specific one. Double, which indicates just multiply by 2. Then we could kind of keep building from there. Triple would be times 3. Likewise over here for division, you know, really we just use the word divide a lot. Separate and groups, or put into groups, something like that. Groups, grouping. To counterattack what that double is, when you have something, and I mean like take half of it, so the verb would be to have something, okay, or half, or triple, or not triple, half, or a third, and so on, a fourth. Those are specific ones. For example, these two mean divide by 2. A third means divide by 3, and so on. Gosh, but after that, I'm kind of wondering what else was in this list here. Multiply product. Well, I guess I didn't put multiply in there, so you can add that one in there. For division words, divide, quotient, separate in groups, have or half. Okay. Watch for those words as you read through some of your problems today and make sure that you are using the correct operation. We talked before about commutative property, and if you recall, this is where you can switch the order. We talked about this with addition, like 3 plus 5 is the same as 5 plus 3. The same thing works for multiplication, okay? So when I want to talk about 3 times 7, you're saying, okay, 21. I could also say 7 times 3. It's still 21. Doesn't matter, okay? Even if you had negative numbers. So if I had negative 2 times a positive 5, and then said, what's a positive 5 times a negative 2? They're both going to give you the same value of negative 10. Associative property. Remember, I usually give you a hint by writing parentheses there and the word grouping. Because if you have a whole bunch of multiplication, so you remember that problem from section 2.1, and it had you do a string of multiplication, like 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, now normally our order of operations say, all right, go through the process and go left to right. But sometimes it might be easier to say, let's do those two together and these two together and group them to make it perhaps a little easier to get your value. Okay, I'm not saying you couldn't go 3 times 3 is 9, times another 3 is 27, times another 3 is 81. That's fine as well, but sometimes grouping might make it a little easier or faster for you. And we've really got to keep track of the order of operations now. And if you remember the acronym, please excuse, I write it like this, MD for my dear, Aunt Sally, like this, because you make 4 scans through a problem. One for any parentheses or grouping symbols, another one for any exponents or square roots, and we'll get to that coming up later. The next one, any multiplying or dividing left to right, then any adding or subtracting left to right. So let's go. This first one talks about Hannah, and she had 4 withdrawals of $20 from her checking account, and she also wrote a check for $215. By how much did her checking account change? Well, 4 withdrawals of 20, and withdrawing means you're deducting from your account, so that would look like this. And then she also wrote a check for $215. So you could write this as subtract 15 or 215, or you could think of this as adding negative 15. Either way is the same thing. You're deducting that $215. Your order of operation says, hey, anything to do within the parentheses? I have parentheses, but there's no additional operations or computation to perform. So I'm done with that. Next scan. Exponents. Nope. Next, multiply or divide. Remember, different signs, negative number. Now the last step, last scan, add or subtract. Well, here we go. You have to keep these rules intact. A negative 80 plus more negatives. If you think number line way, you're going backwards 80 and back another 215. If you like counter way, you have negative counters. You have 80 total red counters, and now you're going to add another 215 negative counters. There you go. Now, label. So this is the number value. Here's how you should answer this question, because it says, by how much did the amount in your checking account change? If you wrote negative $295, I'd say great. Or if you want to say something like her account, could I spell today? Her account decreased by $295. Now notice I didn't use a negative sign here because I used the word decreased. Okay, you have to decide which way makes sense for you. Okay, or which way the directions are asking. I had to get more coffee. Thank you. All right. So if you answered those either way, I'd say all right. If I'm really explicit about wanting a sentence, make sure you write a sentence. All right, let's crank through these. On your mark, get set, go. Order of operations says, do this first. Multiply. Different signs. Now when you're adding, they're fighting against each other. Pulling to the left 4 and then pulling to the right 7. That's positive 3. Parentheses. I should do the 4 scans. Parentheses. No computation in there. Exponents. Nope. Multiply, divide. Now just add or subtract. Okay. This is not 10. It's not negative 10. Oh, Speedy Sally's out there. Remember that subtraction means keep that first number, change this to add, take the opposite. This is negative 24 and negative 14. You should get negative 38. Whoa! Slow down. All right, let's look at this one. Parentheses. Phew. Exponents. Phew. Positive 5. Same signs, positive answer when you multiply or divide. Oh, thank goodness. Just plain old positives. Shazam. Oh, watch out here. Yeah, 0 is the Terminator. You annihilate everything and turn it into 0. There you go. That one was a gift. Nice. All right, let's read through some of these. Shania took a test with 50 questions. She lost 2 points for each of the 5 questions she got wrong. I got to stop right there. Negative 2 points times 5 questions is going to give us the number of points she got wrong. However, she got all 3 extra credit questions correct. What? And got 5 points for those? Holy Hannah. First of all, that's a lot of extra credit, and extra credit's worth a whole lot of points there. All right, what is the total number of points she gained or lost overall? So we just need to add these two together. Whew. Parentheses, yes, but no computation inside them. Next, exponents. Nope. Next, multiply or divide. There, there. Add these two together. Use your fabulous mind to tell yourself, oh, I'm adding numbers with different signs. Okay, they're working against each other. If I lined up counters to make 0 pairs, got a whole lot of 0 pairs because these 10 negatives are taking out and destroying 10 of those positives, and you are left with 5. All right, who's bigger? Who's going to win, going to win, going to win? All right, start going through these and see what you come up with. There's your value on the left. Notice that is way further downstream than my number line even goes. Oh, look at here. Okay, I don't have any computation inside parentheses. I don't have any exponents. So first I do this, divide. Different signs means a negative answer. Positive one. Who's going to win, going to win, going to win? One's going to win, going to win, going to win because it's positive, and automatically a positive number is larger. Look at these guys. Pause the video and check your answer. Go. Ooh, here we go. Negative 30 minus. Got to do these guys together first. Now, don't be so in a hurry that you don't bring everything down because we have a whole lot of negative signs here, and you got to be careful. Keep the first number the same. Subtraction means add the opposite. Oh, look at this. Negative 30 plus 21 is negative 9. Well, hot diggity, those guys are equal. All right, you can turn ahead in your book. I want you to find these guided practice problems, page 52. Start cranking away on these. Check Schoology for your assignment. And as always, may the force be with you.